In this video, we're going to talk about something that's extremely important. It's going to sound to you like it's not important, like maybe it's even stupid, but trust me, this is one of the most important things you can do, particularly in the beginning. And it's not just for beginners, it's for everybody. Now, when you were learning your native language as a baby, there were all these people around you speaking, and it was just like, you didn't understand what they were saying. But it gave your brain an opportunity to observe, to learn, and to understand context, intonation, and what words meant when they were repeated in different ways. Your brain was learning by itself. Nobody was teaching it. It's really important that you recreate this environment for yourself when you're learning English. I call this passive listening. Yes, I've also done a video about that, and you're more than welcome to watch that too. But what's most important here is that you expose yourself to the sound of English as much as possible. Really, if you could, 24 hours a day, like you were living in a country where the language is spoken. Now, what's most important about passive listening is the passive part, which means I don't want you to pay attention. I know, it sounds crazy. I really don't want you to pay attention. I want you to ignore it. Why? Well, because if you pay attention, you're going to be thinking, and you're not going to be thinking in English, and I don't want that. I would like your brain to have an opportunity to learn naturally by itself without you interfering and insisting on thinking in your native language. So please, think in your native language, but not about what you're listening to. Focus on something else. Work, eat, drink, play, talk to people, but just have English in the background and ignore it as much as you can. Is this going to be easy? Well, it should be, but it's actually not. Because your brain is going to say, hey, did you hear what that guy just said? I heard a word. I recognized that word. It's going to try and draw you into what you're listening. And you're going to have to work pretty hard to keep yourself focused on something else and ignoring what's happening around you. Now, your brain is listening 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's always learning. That means that it also is listening and learning while you're sleeping. While you're sleeping? Yes, while you're sleeping. So if you can listen to English while you're sleeping, please go right ahead. I've had experiences of when I was sleeping and I was still learning the language, my brain heard something while I was sleeping and woke me up to tell me that it understood what it had heard. So yes, your brain is always listening, always learning. Just give it the opportunity. If there's nothing to listen to, how is it going to learn? So passive listening is one of the most important things you can do, and please do it as much as possible. Please, I prefer that you use something that's very natural. For example, series and movies are extremely natural. Things like the news and podcasts tend to be a little bit more intentional. I'll explain the difference between natural and intentional English a little bit further down the road. But it's important to understand that you want it to be as natural as possible. So there is a suggestion that I would like to give you, besides movies and series. It's npr.com. Check it out. It's National Public Radio. It's talk radio. All they do is talk all day long. Now, yes, there is news and there are interviews that tend to be a little bit more intentional, but there are a lot of natural conversations as well. And it's something that you can just put on and completely forget about it, and it'll be noise in the background, which is exactly what we want. So, have fun trying to not pay attention.